What if entertainment isn't just entertainment? What if these stories that we find so intriguing, in particular when it comes to this latest film that has been making really big numbers, okay? Could this actually be a very covert form of spiritual warfare that's disguised? And I share this at this time because, especially when we're wanting, give me just a moment. So you have to be really understanding that these people that are creating these films, although it is about entertainment on a deeper level, this is about control. And furthermore, when they realize that in order to keep people in a space of perpetuating cycles of being on a particular level within their lives, then they're going to promote those things. So even in the sense of this particular film being called Sinners, and all the characters are displaying different forms of sin, okay, whether it is sloth, whether it is wrath, all these different things. These are not happenstance. This is not just something that they just, oh, this will be entertainment. No, it's much more deeper than that. And when it comes to this being something that, even when you're going through these different reels or the feed in general, you're seeing that these things are trending for a reason. And the reason is because they want you to be in a position where you give over to being immoral, where you lose all faith and you go into dabbling with the dark arts, involving yourself in witchcraft, okay, involving yourself in things that actually, some of our ancestors may have partaken in those things, but we have to also understand that not everything that our ancestors have done were always on the up and up. And so this is why, especially at this time, children of God, if you're feeling a strong sense of apprehension around watching this particular film, it's for a reason. Your intuition, Holy Spirit is letting you know that just because something is trending or popular, or just because a lot of people are partaking in it, doesn't mean that you should partake in it. Because when you watch certain things, these things have an ability to kind of take on like a lingering effect within you. This whole dramatization of these seven deadly sins, okay, the normalization of it, oftentimes when you're watching these things, and even when you're completely focused on something else, it's going to continue to pop back in your mind because it's already been supplanted into your subconscious mind. And they know this, and this is why there's a lot of money that's put behind this, okay? Oftentimes it is like a sense of, when you're really in tune with the Holy Spirit as children of God, you're in tune with certain things that just don't feel quite right. But when you're in this society, and especially if you're wanting to communicate with other people, you kind of want to be in tune or in alignment with what other people are doing. And if you are in tune or aligned with what other people are doing, oftentimes you are allowing your soul to be put in jeopardy. You're allowing your vessel to be tainted. And think about, okay, the visuals. If you're taking in the imagery, if you're taking in the visuals that are being put out there before you, especially when they have made it well known that they contacted people that were involved in conjure and the dark arts, witchcraft, and all this stuff, this has an ability to affect who you are. This has an ability to take residence in your mind. And what happens when things really take residence in your mind, they can affect your soul. They can affect your decision making. When there's a sense of normalization when it comes to all things evil, violence, and these things like that, this is a form of a covert spiritual attack. And this is at work. Even when it comes to this particular film, I noticed that they were giving off different forms of symbolism, okay, covering the one eye, or making the inverted pyramid sign. Like, all these things are letting you know that they're part of the hidden society. Okay, we're not going to name names, but you if you know what I mean. And when they're a part of this type of um very covert and sinister agenda, this is to keep people in the lowest frequencies possible. And what that results in is people, you know, feeding the prison industrial complex, people feeding, all these degenerate things that support a very amoral, fallen society. And so we can't take these things for granted. Although, of course, naturally you want to be entertained, you want to watch certain things. But if something is blaringly telling you this is about sinners and vampires, yes, it may have a story to go along with it that you can draw some inspiration from, but it is a very, 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 very delicate balance when it comes to either you're being entertained or being indoctrinated. And it's really teetering more so on being in a form of indoctrination, that somehow this is okay, somehow this is acceptable to partake in. Also, another thing I noticed is regarding the symbolism was the um, red pill, black pill symbolism. They put that a lot in here. And so it's just showing that this duality is at play, where they are promoting things that are not only saying that, okay, we should embrace spirituality, we should embrace a so-called God per se, but there's also the subtle undermining of faith-based values, also glorifying all things sinister and moral confusion. And so when you have this confusion where at one point somebody is speaking or condoning things in regarding to having a spiritual belief system, but at the same time they're condoning living in an immoral life, that cancels it out. Like, God is not a God of confusion. And furthermore, discernment is our shield. And so if you have discernment, are trying their best to drag you in or try to lure you into also being sinister, don't just watch these things, but analyze it and understand that there is a deeper thing that is at play. This is really an aspect of a covert spiritual tactic, psychological warfare. And this also refers to the unseen battles a lot of people are experiencing when it comes to this internal conflict of societal pressures and spiritual truth. But the truth always comes to light. And the truth needs no validation. The truth needs nobody to rally for it. It's just naturally there. And so the Holy Spirit that resonates within you, when you really are aligning with, doing the right thing, you're going to be guided towards choosing the right thing. You're going to be guided towards living upright. And in doing so, if you feel like, yeah, this is something that a lot of people are partaking in, but I don't feel comfortable with it, stick with what you are being convicted by. That is not going to lead you astray.